My First Gran Turismo has been out for a few days now, and ever since its launch the game has received some mixed reviews. So today I'm gonna go over my experience with the game as well as what the future actually holds for My First Gran Turismo. So with that being said, let's dive into it. So starting off, what is My First Gran Turismo? This is a Gran Turismo demo. This takes Gran Turismo 7 and brings it down to its core, and that is about driving cars, learning about cars and collecting cars, and I think this game does that extremely well. Now, according to Mr. Yamauchi, who is the mind behind Gran Turismo, he stated at the Gran Turismo World Series final in Amsterdam that My First Gran Turismo is something that he's always wanted to do. He's always wanted to offer a free-to-play method for both the young and the elderly to both enjoy and just feel what Gran Turismo is all about. So, starting off with the youngsters, he wants to get them interested in cars, and by just giving them a free-to-play game to just experience what different types of cars feel like, it will build an interesting cars and therefore be better for the game as well as the automotive industry. Whereas with the elderly, he says you don't really see many elderly men participating or coming together over a shared passion, whereas with Gran Turismo he wanted to have them have that experience. So by taking the UI and just increasing the size of it and adjusting it, well, he said this is just going to be an easier way for elderly people to just come together and enjoy the game. So when you boot up My First Gran Turismo, well, you are going to be greeted with a tutorial, and in the tutorial it's just going to show you the basics of how to drive a vehicle around the circuit. Then they're going to give you your opportunity to try it out, and once you've completed that, well, then you are going to be thrown into a license mission. Now nothing screams Gran Turismo like the license sensor, and we have to start off with the old favorite, and that is just drive up to a certain point, slam on the brakes and stop here in this certain time. So with that being said, this is the perfect way to really get anyone into the Gran Turismo franchise. This is such a great way because with licenses it gives you something to aim for, and if you're like me, you're gonna want to just end off with gold. You want the best results. You don't want to just get bronze and say, move on. You are gonna actively try and just keep pushing yourself until you get the gold, and starting off with license missions is the best way to do it. So some of the license missions are rather easy and some of them will pose a challenge, but what you gotta say is the fact that license missions are just fun. They give you something to work towards, it gives a bit of a challenge and an enjoyable experience. Now I see this as the greatest way to start off or kick off anyone's first time playing Gran Turismo. So once you finish completing all of the license missions, well, then you will be able to just try out such a variety of cars to really show you the diversity of vehicles in Gran Turismo. For example, we are doing a hairpin turn in a Toyota Alphard Executive Lounge around Deep Forest Raceway. This is not something that you'd experience in any other game, but that just goes to show you how you're able to jump from an MX-5 to a GTR to an Alphard. It really just shows you the dynamic variety of vehicles in Gran Turismo 7. Once you've completed the license missions, well, you should have unlocked. Once you've completed all the license missions, you will unlock the music rally, races, time trials, practice runs, and well, my achievements. In my achievements, it just checks your progress to see how far you are to completing the game. So when it comes to races, you have 3 different events. You have a Sunday Cup, a Clubman Cup, as well as a GT Cup. Now when it comes to the menus of the game, we see that the menus are different compared to what Gran Turismo has, and that's due to the fact of, with the game being aimed at the elderly, they made the text a lot bigger so that's easier to read and easier to understand. Really simplified the UI and just the menus to really just capsulate the fact that you can just focus on driving. Now I also feel like it does take away from the real Gran Turismo experience, because with this game, we found that we have no replay mode, no photo mode, there's no tuning that can be done to vehicles, but at the end of the day, it is a demo. But there's something about the fact that we did not have a single new supercar, even a Lamborghini Huracan or something along those lines, to show that hey, we do have supercars, we have new fast cars in the game, and they lacked putting that in. And I feel like with the younger audience, that's what would interest them more, jumping into the brand new 2025 Nissan GTR or something along those lines. That would have really captured their attention and wanted to work towards it. But nonetheless, I still think the vehicle choice in My First Gran Turismo is exceptional. It offers such a wide variety and shows the uniqueness that Gran Turismo has to offer. So the vehicles, the race choices, and just the cars that you come up against is so perfect. When it comes to the future of My First Gran Turismo, we see that Kaz also mentioned that he wants to do future updates. Now, nothing sets in stone, but he does want to add future changes and additions to My First Gran Turismo to just give you a better experience and more races, more cars. Now, I'm just speculating that because at no point did he mention what will be added or changed or updated to the game. But they are looking at just improving the game over time, and I'd love to see that. The fact that they are willing to spend their time updating a free to play, trying to get more people on board, trying to get more people to experience it. And yes, for your hardcore Gran Turismo 7 player, the person who's been playing the game since day one, like myself, when I drove this, I felt like, okay, there really is no points. Now, when I first started playing, I thought, okay, there's no real point to it. But there's an added bonus of the fact that when you complete the game, you will have unlocked 18 vehicles. That when you jump into Gran Turismo 7, the next time after completing it and getting all 18 vehicles, you will have all 18 cars in Gran Turismo 7. So you can do whatever you like with those cars. If you want to sell them, you can do that. If you want to keep them and just upgrade them and have fun with it, you just got free vehicles. Now, when it comes to how long the game is, it took me under 2 hours to complete it, and that's with me having a below average skill level, still managing to get all gold in the game. And honestly, I had fun. I enjoyed my time playing with it. Am I gonna run back to it? No, because I don't really feel that there is a need to run back to it. Yes, you do have leaderboards that if you wanna be the top or the fastest racer, you have something to work towards. Unfortunately, there is no 2-player mode, but once again, it is a demo. It has to have slimmed down features, but there is still an added competition element of, if you really want to be the best of the best, you can keep working and keep going as hard as possible until you are on top of the leaderboard or just on the leaderboard itself, because there are some very fast people out there. So it gives you a challenge and gives you something to work towards and keep trying to just improve your overall experience and your time with the game. My First Gran Turismo is such a good demo, in my opinion. It gives you a brief, it shows you briefly what you can experience in Gran Turismo 7. However, I do feel like with the lack of customization, tuning, it does take away from what the core elements are. But once again, it's a demo, and with it being free to play, I love that. It gives you a free opportunity to test out some vehicles, have some new missions, and just have some more fun. So My First Gran Turismo, I enjoyed my experience with it. I had fun with it, and if you haven't tried it out yet, I highly recommend you to. You get new license missions and you have something else to do while we wait for the next Gran Turismo 7 update. So with this being said, let me know your thoughts and opinions on My First Gran Turismo in the comment section down below. And with this being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.